Hi, hello, and good evening. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then hi, I'm Helena, and today we're just going to be talking about my September wrap-up, what I read in September. I will put the stats up on the screen, but I did read 6 books in September, which for me is very good, 5 of which were romances, because if you saw in my last video, I did read the entire Chestnut Spring series, and 1 was fantasy. I read a total of 2,234 pages, which, when you think about it, is crazy. Okay, that's crazy to me, at least. We are going to just do a little recap of what I read in my ratings. I did rate these all right after I read the book, but now that I think on them, they might change. I don't know. I feel like I changed my rating based on how long ago I read it. Like, right when I read it, I'm like, oh, 5-star for sure. Like, I'm obsessed. It's so good. And then I think back on it. Like, how does it feel? For example, I rated that 5-star, but book 2 was definitely a 5-star. Book 1, 4, probably. Because the first, like, 60 pages, it was boring. Her talking about the mushrooms and with Crazy Earl or whatever his name was, it dragged on until she finally fell into the fairy realm is when it started to actually get good. I rated that 5-star, and now it's really not a 5-star, it's a 4-star. The second book definitely was a 5-star because that one's really good, but these are the ratings as of right now. Okay, first up for the month, I read Flawless by Elsie Silver, obviously. I rated this a 5-star. This was really good. It was book 1 in the series. It's about Rhett and Summer, and I loved that Summer was basically his babysitter, and there was the, like, he got hurt and she took care of him trope. There was the one bed trope. This one was just overall really good. It was a really good first book in the series. Then we went right in with Heartless. This one this is an absolute 5-star. Heartless was just so good. I loved Cade and Willa's banter. Their banter was hilarious. And also, Willa's just a badass, and she was hilarious. I normally don't like the pregnancy trope, but I actually really liked it in this book. Like, when Feyre got pregnant, I don't know, it kind of gave me the ick. Sometimes it just gives me the ick, but if they do it correctly, it won't. So, Elsie, my girl, you did this so right, because the pregnancy trope did not give me the ick, thank God. But love Cade and his grumpiness. I love a grumpy man. Seeing him in the other books was hilarious because he has this, like, he still has the grumpy exterior, but you can see that Willa got under his skin and made him crack, made him smile and laugh, whereas he was just all grump before Willa. We read, Jasper has my heart. Powerless was so freaking good because I was so intrigued by Jasper, the, like, little glimpse of him through the other 2 books. I was so curious about this man, what his story was, and, like, what was going on in his brain and just everything. And also Sloane, I love her. She's so strong but still very charismatic and kind. Powerless, I gave 5 stars, obviously. I love Jasper. I love me a dominant man, and that he was for sure. But also the car scene when they were going down the, like, big hill in the truck and the brakes, like, started to give out or whatever. He was internally panicking while Sloane was outwardly panicking, and he was like, I'm gonna get you through this, and then he, like, zones out and he's gone, and Sloane brings him back, and that's when they had their first kiss. It just, the whole thing was just, the whole book was just so freaking good. Like, I still think about this book daily. His story was heart-wrenching, and what he went through, Bo taking him in, it was just it was so kind. We kind of went into not necessarily a slump, but like a mini slump with Reckless. I don't know what it was about this book, but halfway through, before Theo knew that Vivi was his, is when I was like, there was like a lull in my reading at this point, Maybe it was because the other books were just like Heartless and Powerless were just so freaking good, and Reckless was, it was good, but it was okay. It wasn't like, oh my god, I'm so obsessed, I zoomed through it kind of thing. Reckless I gave a 4.5 star. I think it could possibly go down to a 4 star. I've seen all over the place saying that this was people's favorite, and I just couldn't get behind it. It's not my favorite. I still liked it, yes. It was still good, yes. But is it my favorite? No. But this one, I don't know. Maybe it's because Winter kind of pissed me off. Theo was just trying to help her, and she was like, no, I don't need your help. And I was like, girl, I get it, independent queen and all, but like, let your baby daddy help you. And also, we all knew that she was in love with him, and he knew that he was in love with her, and everybody freaking knew it. This one just wasn't my fave. I still gave it a 4.5 because I did still like it. And again, with the pregnancy trope, did not get the ick, so that's a slay. I don't know, I liked Theo. I did. I just don't know if I loved Winter like I loved Willa or Sloane. After Reckless in my little, I don't even want to call it a slump because it wasn't a slump. It was like a baby tiny mini slump. I guess that's what we're gonna call it. A teeny tiny baby little baby slump is what we're gonna call it. I had to get something different, something short, something different, a romantasy, if you will. I read 6 Scorched Roses. Why is that a mouthful? Anyway, I read this as a teeny tiny little palate cleanser because this novella is only 154 pages, which was honestly perfect. Right after Reckless had put me in a teeny tiny little baby slump. I don't know how to rate novellas. I don't know how you guys rate novellas, but I did give this 4 stars, I think, on Goodreads, because like, obviously I liked it. It's only 154 pages. Can a 5 star come from 154 pages? I don't think so, but in my heart, 4 stars. Felt great because I did love it. I did. And it was nice to get a kind of side character of the main story of The Serpent in the Wings of Night. And I'm pretty sure he's in book 2. Vale is at least in book 2. Because I loved The Serpent in the Wings of Night. I absolutely loved and devoured that book. That was super good. That was so fast paced, and it was like instant action, and it was just action all throughout, and there was no like weird lull in the book whatsoever, which sometimes in fantasies can happen because obviously there's still character development and stuff like that. We did get that in The Serpent in the Wings of Night, but we also got constant action in that, and I gave that obviously 5 stars. And I want to read The Ashes in the Star-Cursed King definitely soon, but I wanted to read this before because I heard that you should read this in between the two. When I originally started, for some reason, I thought that this was in fact a prequel kind of thing, pre The Serpent in the Wings of Night, but realistically it's not. I don't really know why I thought that. Maybe I seen it somewhere or something. I don't know, but I don't know why I thought that this was not in the same timeline as Serpent in the Wings of Night. For the last book, we read Hopeless because I wanted to obviously finish the Chestnut Spring series this month, and for that video, obviously, I love this book so freaking much. Hopeless is literally #1 in the series. I already said this in my previous video of the vlog of me reading this entire series. It is Hopeless, then it's Heartless, then it's Powerless, then Flawless, then Reckless. Hopeless was my all-time favorite of this series. Bo literally has my heart. Bo's story, I don't know what it was, but Bo's story literally just touched me deep, 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 deep in my heart. I don't know really what it was. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't know anybody who went through this kind of thing that I would connect with. I still think about this all the time. Bo's story was so heart-wrenching and just so awful of what he went through, and I'm so glad that we did get to see what he went through him and not through someone else, because in Powerless obviously is when it all happened. We didn't really get much because obviously he couldn't say anything because, you know, he was like top secret and he couldn't really talk about his deployments and all that. I loved that we got his story, and I loved that he opened up about it with Bailey finally. I also love Bailey because Bailey, despite her family, she has done so much for herself. I kind of figured the ending out a little bit towards like middle, because when Bo kept saying, oh, Bailey's not going to thrive in this town, Bailey is not going to be able to make a name for herself because of her family name, even with them in their deal and their fake engagement, it still wasn't helping her get anywhere with anybody in the town. So I kind of figured where it was going, and I'm glad that it did. I'm glad that they got out. I'm glad that they were able to do what they want, make a name for themselves based on their like talent and all that, and not based on their family name. I love Bo, and I love Bailey because she is one tough chick and she just gives it right back to Bo. She is not afraid to tell him what it is, and I just love that. And Bo needed that. Bo really needed someone like that in his life. I don't know if I saw the rating. I did give that a 5-star, obviously. I think that's all for this video. It was a short, simple sit down and talk about the books that I read in September. And now that we are in October, it is officially spooky season and I'm beyond excited. I already have my next video locked and loaded, ready to go. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!